Lazarus episode number 4 release date and time. Lazarus had a surprisingly weak outing with episode number 3, but it still left plenty to be excited about for episode number 4 and beyond. Despite the sudden stumbling block, Lazarus' story feels as strong as ever, and hopefully episode number 3's weak writing and overall presentation won't be an indication of what's to come for the rest of the series. Lazarus episode number 3 picked up where episode number 2 left off, with the Lazarus team discovering thousands of obvious fake Dr. Skinners when they tried to find him via facial recognition. The team had to follow more suspicious leads to try and track down Skinner, and soon enough, the Lazarus team's search for Dr. Skinner brought them to his childhood home in Istanbul. There was a lot to digest in episode number 3, despite the relatively weak outing, and episode number 4 will hopefully be an even better follow-up. Shinichiro Watanabe's Lazarus is a Toonami original anime, meaning that cable or other forms of TV service are required for watching new episodes live, although new episodes will be streamed the next day on Max. Assuming there are no delays, Lazarus episode number 4 will premiere on Saturday, April 26 at 9:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12:00 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and 5:00 a.m. British Summer Time, and it should be available on Max relatively early the following day. Lazarus already had a great premiere, and episode number 2 was an even better follow-up. In addition to still having plenty of great action and music, including the formal introduction of Lazarus' amazing theme song, episode number 2 also excelled narratively with how much it fleshed out the cast and the larger world, most notably with further developing Skinner as someone who grew fed up with everyone's complete disinterest toward doing anything to save the world. Lazarus' writing and overall direction continue to be nothing but spectacular with its second episode, and the rest of the series will hopefully follow suit. Episode number 2 also seems to have fixed the issue with the voice acting. While the voice acting in the premiere was notably stiff, everything sounded far more natural in episode number 2, and while it still wasn't perfect, the voice acting in Lazarus episode number 2 gives hope that the stiff voice acting in episode number 1 won't be a regular occurrence. Overall, Lazarus continues to perfectly play into its hype, but unfortunately, episode number 3, at the very least, failed to properly build on its momentum. In Lazarus episode number 3, Long Way From Home, with facial recognition technology being a dead end, the Lazarus team decided to follow new leads to try and find Dr. Skinner. Axel and Doug went to a homeless settlement to track down Doug's college professor, an old associate of Skinner, and Chris and Leland snuck into Skinner's house to find more clues. Chris and Leland's search came up empty, and while Doug's professor didn't know anything, Doug's professor gave the Lazarus team the idea to go to Istanbul and find Dr. Skinner's beloved grandmother in the hopes that she would know something. Axel and Leland took the lead in the mission to Istanbul, and before they could even start looking for Skinner's grandmother, Belinda, some thugs cornered them on the street. Axel had no problem fighting them off, but Leland was quickly cornered, and the thugs moved to cut off Leland's hand to steal his shock bracelet. Before they could, though, Leland cried out that he was only there to eat some of Belinda's baklava, and surprisingly, the thugs who attacked Axel and Leland were all friends of Belinda and stopped fighting them so they could take them to see Belinda. The thugs, true to their word, brought Axel and Leland to Belinda, but unfortunately, she didn't know where Skinner was and hadn't seen him in years. The only thing of note was a video Skinner sent Belinda where he said he hoped to see her later, which was noted to conflict with his plans to destroy humanity, and Axel, assuming that Skinner was watching Belinda from somewhere, told him that they were coming for him. It was never explicitly stated that Skinner was watching them, however, and the episode ended with Elena finding another possible lead on Skinner's location. If there was anything to take away from Lazarus episode number 3, it was how it continued a signature quirk of Shinichiro Watanabe's writing style. When Axel and Doug were looking for Doug's professor, Axel looked for his old friend Jerry for help, only to discover that Jerry had transitioned into a woman since Axel last saw her and now went by Jill. Axel, fortunately, was nothing but supportive after the initial surprise, so Lazarus' introduction of Jill shows that it's a very LGBT-positive anime, even if it only comes from a single character. All of that is par for the course with Shinichiro Watanabe's style. Most of Watanabe's works have a notably progressive bent to them, with his characters and worlds always having different cultures built into them, and even Netflix's Carol and Tuesday had explicitly LGBT characters of varying importance. That's always given Watanabe incredible depth as a creator by showing how much he wants to highlight the world as a whole, so Lazarus introducing an LGBT character in Jill, combined with the pre-established international elements, makes it another Shinichiro Watanabe anime that perfectly captures one of the best parts of his style. Overall, Lazarus episode number 3 is probably the anime's weakest outing to date. While the characters are still fun to watch and even got some good development in episode number 3, the narrative has fallen into a pattern of everyone doing random things as they try and fail to find Skinner, and seeing how little progress has been made with the plot is already tedious after only 3 episodes. Lazarus is currently doing a poor job of balancing episodic storytelling with a serialized narrative, and it's one of the biggest things currently holding it back. Even the animation isn't enough to hold the show together. As great as the animation is, it's hard to keep praising the fight scenes when they keep serving little narrative purpose. Not every fight in Cowboy Bebop or Samurai Champloo was important, but they served a purpose more often than not. So Lazarus is falling short of Shinichiro Watanabe's other anime by not making its fight scenes worth watching beyond a visual level. Lazarus still has plenty of promise, but if episode number 3 is an indication of anything, it won't be as smooth as most people would have liked.